I don't know about you, but I grew up reading a lot of fairy tales. Grimm's, Hans Christian Andersen, Mother Goose or nursery rhymes, but you get the idea. A lot of those classic stories that are just part of our cultural vernacular. What I did not read as a child was The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald. And this is a magnificent book, friends. I especially love my Illustrated Junior Library edition, by the way, but it is reprinted by lots of wonderful people, including Living Book Press. So if you can't get one of these old ones, that's okay. There's lots of great options out there. This magnificent book is so good for tender souls. It is one that I consider an absolute staple in a home or school or co-op or lending library. This one is one that is just so essentially part of the cultural vernacular. Even if we've never read it, the ideas that are present in here are ones that are just consistent with our old Western culture. Yes, that was a reference to the Roman roads. Anyway, different conversation, different video. But The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald is the story of a princess and her need to be obedient to her papa and her need to trust in things that are confusing and scary. But she's being led by a great light, really by the Holy Spirit. She's being led and she needs to trust in that leading. And it is about a book about a boy named Curdy, who is poor but rich in character, and who is willing to do the right thing even when it is dangerous and costly, and when the outcome is totally uncertain. This is a fairy tale that is worthy of our time and our attention. And so we are considering this what we call like a level 2 book, meaning our children are done reading the little books for little readers. They're ready to start reading harder things for themselves. This one has some older language. It has some harder, more complex thoughts. It's definitely going to be a challenge for them to read it, but you could read it together. You read a couple of pages, they read a couple of pages, and the story is so good for their innocent souls, and it's so exciting that it will draw them in and encourage them to keep reading and wanting to know how it ends and wanting to read it for themselves. So whether you do it as a read aloud, or you do it as a read with me, or you let them go for it on their own, this is an excellent book, perfect for our young listeners, readers, our young people. Not to be missed, my friends. The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald.